Yes.
Ah, God, the net. I don't know what happened. It's affecting all of the networks. It's affecting all of the networks. The downtime. Okay, so I think it's back on. All right. So yes. So what is a lookup function? A lookup function is a function that's, according to the definition here, it, let's use the XLOOKUP for example. It's a powerful function in Excel that allows you to search for a value in a range or table and returns a corresponding value in another column. It's more flexible and easier compared to the predecessor XLOOK, VLOOKUP, and HLOOKUP. So basically, lookup functions are used to look for a value in another range of data and return all of the corresponding values in other columns on the row where the lookup value is. So what do I mean by that? Basically, let's say you have a POS terminal. Somebody came into your store to get something, right? And the person you put in the code, like the product ID, into the machine, and you want the machine to return the name of the product, the price, and probably if there's a discount. By just putting in by just scanning that QR code, which is the ID, that's how those POS terminal works. So immediately they scan that QR code, it automatically matches that product ID with the product ID in the point of sales database. Then it's going to return all the information attached to it. Do you understand? So that is how lookup functions work. Now, the four main types of lookup functions we have the XLOOKUP, we have the HLOOKUP, we have the VLOOKUP, then we have the index and match functions. But for the sake of um, this class, we are going to exclude XLOOKUP and VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. Why? Because of XLOOKUP. So XLOOKUP basically can do the job of a VLOOKUP and also the job of HLOOKUP in a simpler and much more effective manner, right? So I feel I don't see any need to learn this when you can use this to do this. And this in the near future is going to completely make these two. In fact, it has made them obsolete already. People barely use this anymore. And I know in the coming years, they are going to be scrapped from Excel entirely, right? So we're going to cover XLOOKUP and we're going to cover index and match, right? Are we together, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. So now let's dive into it. Let's dive into it. I need you guys to pay. I need your ears. I need your unwavering attention from now till when we round up this class. Very important. So let's take a look at the X lookup, right? So this is the syntax of the X lookup. This is the syntax of the X lookup. You guys can see my screen. Are we together? So
Yes, sir.
we have the X lookup.
Yes,
We have
sir.
the lookup. All right. We have the X lookup. We have the lookup value, comma. We have the lookup array, comma. We have the return array, comma. We have the if not found, comma. We have the match mode, comma, and we have the search mode. Right? I know it's long. I know it's long, but if you can see here, there are two colors here. Why did I divide them into two colors? Because this part of the function can run alone, right? This part of the function is mandatory, right? But this part of the function is optional depending on the need. So this part of this function, this is the basic structure of the XLOOKUP. Then you can add any of these ones to it depending on the need. Now let me break down what a lookup value is, what a lookup array is, and what a return array is. First of all, what is an array? Does anybody know what an array is here? Okay, Matthias. Matthias.
Sorry, it was a mistake.
All right. Inspire.
Okay, an array is a range of cells.
Yeah, in this context, yes. It's a range of cells, but it's basically a range of values. So again, let's talk about it, right? So I have the lookup value here. What is the lookup value? The lookup value is what you're looking for, right? The lookup value is what you're looking for. The lookup array is where you're looking for that value, right? Then the return array is what the information you want to pull out, where the information is you want to pull out. Now, the lookup value must be contained in the lookup array. What do I mean by that? Let me paint an hypothetical, not hypothetical, a real life scenario, right? So, is anybody here, say, a medical doctor or a nurse or works in the medical field? Anybody here?
Yes, sir.
What's your name? And the person that just answered yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay. I would love to work with one person. So who am I working with?
Musa.
Yahoo? Medical
Yes,
practitioners.
I'm blessing. Yes, I'm blessing.
Okay, so I'm working with Blessing for to try and explain this structure, because once you understand how the parts of this function works, it's easier to use it. So Blessing, what do you do? Are you a doctor? Are you a nurse? Pharmacist?
I'm a
What do you do?
pharmacist.
Okay,
I'm a pharmacist.
pharmacist.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay. Um. Okay. So let's assume you're working as a nurse, right? Let's assume you're working as a nurse. Then I'm assuming in a medical setup, because I'm not a medical professional, so I'm working based on assumptions. I'm assuming they have like a log book that contains all of the clients. That's the clients business, not the enter my head too much. All of the patients' data, right? Like their names, their biodata, their sex, genotypes, their blood groups, when they were admitted, what they were admitted for, right?
Yes, we do.
Or let me scale it back down. Now, let's assume, right? Let's assume you have a book. You have a book, right? And in that book, we have the names of everybody here, right? We have the names of everybody here in a column called full names. We have the sex of everybody here. In another column, we have the location, your address, your age, and probably your occupation, right? In a book. So that book has 5 columns, and all of these informations are there. So each person has a role across 5 columns that houses all of this information. Are we together? Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now, for example, now, yeah. So for example, if I now say, okay, fine, I hand you a sheet of paper and I tell you, and the sheet of paper, what was there was, let's say, Inspire, Nola, right? I hand you a sheet of paper. And on that sheet of paper, I wrote Inspire, Nola. That Inspire is the lookup value, right? If I say, okay, fine, please confirm if Inspire is among the person, or please confirm if Inspire is among the names in that book that houses all of those names. So what do you do? The person, what do you do? If I give you that sheet of paper with Inspire's name on it, and I tell you to check in that book to confirm if a name is inside the book, what column would you go to?
It's the column for name.
Thank you. So that column you go to search if Inspire is in the book. That is called your lookup array. Do you understand? So the lookup value is Inspire. Where you go to look for Inspire, the column you go to look for Inspire is your lookup array, right? So now, Blessing, if I say, if you now confirm that, okay, fine, the name Inspire is there in that book, and I tell, okay, fine, please tell me the age of Inspire. What column will you go to check in that book?
It's the column for age.
Thank you very much. So that column for the age, for me to get an age, that is the return array. Do you understand? So the lookup value is Inspire. Where we are looking for Inspire is the full name column, which is the lookup array. Then I want you to tell me our age is the lookup array, the return array, right? So now let's put all of these things I've said into practice. Yeah. So we have a list of names here. We have a list of names here. And if you look here, we have the employee biodata here, right? So we have the employee ID, we have the first name, we have the last name, we have the full name, we have the age, we have their address, we have the gender, the job title, salary, start date, end date,
Yes,
and
sir.
their email addresses, right? So now this can be on the same sheet. This can be on a different sheet. I'm going to do both. It doesn't really matter. This can be in a different workbook altogether. Like you could open a different workbook and you can still link it up, right? So now, then I asked you, they say, okay, fine, please, want you to pull out the employee ID of all of the staffs listed here, right? I want you to pull up the employee ID of all of the staffs they call here, listed here. So what do? I will come here, I will go equal to XLOOKUP. I'll go equals to XLOOKUP. So the first thing that you ask me, please impute the lookup value. So what's going to be my lookup value? I want to look for Toby Flenderson. Same thing as Inspire. So just take this as a sheet of paper and take this as the book. I'll go together. So this is a sheet of paper with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 names, right? 5 names here. And this part of the data set is the book, right? So I will look at the first name. I'll say, okay, fine. I'm looking for Toby Flenderson. So that's my lookup value, right? Comma. So class, what column will I choose here now as my lookup array from what I explained?
Column E.
Column what?
E, employee ID.
That's
Yes.
not it. That's not it. Someone else.
H.
Sorry?
Column H.
Column
Column H.
Why column H?
Because he has the full name.
All right, so you're correct. So now, like I told you guys, the lookup value must be contained in the lookup array. And you can see here the only column here that has this Toby Flenderson in it is the full name, right? So the lookup value must be in the lookup array because we're trying to create we're trying to confirm if the information given to us is inside our database, right? So we're going with the full name. I will highlight all of this. So remember, it's an array. I will highlight this, right? I will highlight this. I will lock it down, right? Comma. So now what's now going to be my return array?
Employee ID now. Sorry.
Yeah, please. I'm going forward. If you have the answer, you can raise your hand. I'll pick for the sake of orderliness. Thank you. So it's the employee ID. Now this is what you want to return, right? We want to return the employee ID. So I would highlight the employee ID column here. Or highlight the employee ID here. Again, I'm going to lock it down and I'll press enter. And you can see we've pulled out. Please, everyone should mute their mic, please. You can see that we've pulled out 1005. And let me quickly drag this down. Right? So you can see Toby Flenderson 1005. So let's search Toby Flenderson 1005. Right? For Pam Beasley is 1002. Pam Beasley 1002. For Meredith, is 1007. Yeah, Meredith 1007. For Kevin Malone, it's 1009. Kevin Malone 1009. Then we have Oizamsi Marion. We're having an error here. So Glory, Chiamaka, you have a question. Your hand is up before I go forward.
In the formula, you locked it down, like you made it absolute.
Yes,
Why?
because I don't the same way we did when we're calculating the percentage. As I'm dragging the function down, I only want this part. Please, please that now. So the reason why, look at the formula. The reason why I locked it down, I wanted it in the sense that I only want this part of the formula, which is referencing the full name, to move, but the array, I want it to be locked down to this, because this is where I'm searching for, right? So if I come down here, I see that this part of the formula is moving, but this part, even as I dragged it down, is still checking for this range. That was why I locked both of them down. Do you understand?
Yes, thank you.
All right, Benedetta, your question.
Good evening, sir. It's not really a
Yeah, good
question.
evening.
Please, can you help me go over it again, like the explanation you gave for the VLOOKUP value, the array, the return array, and all that? Please just help me go over it again. I'm kind of confused.
Please, for the sake of time, because we'll run the examples multiple times, you can use the video to catch up. You understand? But because of time, I can't. That explanation will take me an extra 10-15 minutes, and I would love to cover what I have planned for today. But just pay close attention to what I'm doing. I'll probably reference it as we go. You understand? So my apologies for that, but because of time. So now, okay, goodness, Matthias.
Sorry, sir. Sir, please, how did you
Yeah,
lock it down? I don't understand that concept of locking it down.
that means he's not been with us from the beginning. Just go to the function, press your F4 key to lock down.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, make it absolute. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's continue. I'm going to give you another example. This time around, I want to pull the information from. I want to pull it from this sheet, right? I want to pull it from this sheet. So now, okay, there's one more hand up. Beatrice, do you have a question? Beatrice. All right, let's continue. So this time around, I want to pull out the job titles of all of the staffs, right? So now I want, yeah, oh, yeah, we'll get to that error. We'll get there. Don't worry. I did it on purpose. So let's pull the job titles. Let's pull the job titles. So what do? I'll go equal to XLOOKUP, right? XLOOKUP. Now, class, what's going to be my lookup value?
I think it should
Chiamaka,
be E.
Glory.
Employee ID. Okay.
No, you're wrong. Priscilla,
Full
what's going
full
to be my
name
lookup
at
value?
The
it's not Chamaka that
lookup
answered
value will be the
earlier.
name.
This is what I'm trying to avoid. Please, for orderliness, these classes are being recorded and they will be uploaded. You understand? So let's work together. If you know the answer, raise your hand. I will call based on the first person that raises his or her hand to avoid clashes like that. So the first person hand here is Inspire. So what is going to be our local value, Inspire?
Okay. We are looking for the job title, right? For each employee.
Yes.
Our lookup value will be from the full name at this and the column A.
Thank you. So that's going to be our lookup value. So what's going to be our lookup array?
Our lookup array will also be from this full name at H. Lookup array rather.
Right? Comma.
Yes, sir.
So now I want to pull out the job title. So what do? I can
We
come
move
to
to
this sheet
the
here.
yes to select the job
I'll
title.
come to yeah, I'll come to this sheet and I'll do this. Immediately I press enter, and you see I've pulled out the job titles. So you can pull out the job titles from any information you want, as long as you've created an establishment to be Flenderson, to be Flenderson. Everything on the role of to be Flenderson, you have access to, right? You have access to. So that's how lookup functions work. Do you understand? That's how lookup functions work. I'm going to drop everybody's hands because I'm about to ask if there's a question so that I will know. So if you guys have question on how this works, inspire.
Sir, the question I have is this. You know, when you wanted to run the lookup function for the uh, employee ID, you log the
Yeah.
lookup array and the return array. But for this job title
Yes.
we did now, we did not log the lookup array and the return array. Why is it like that?
Yeah, I didn't lock. It's standard practice to lock, right? Look at it. Are you seeing the array move? Can you see it? It's
Yes.
moving. Now that I didn't lock it, look at it. It's moving, right?
Okay.
It's moving. It's not good. It's always good to lock it down. The one that locked down, you will see all of the details are still in place,
Okay.
irrespective of where I'm moving it to. This is the
Okay.
only part of the function that is moving. So it's going to work. I tell my students because it worked does not mean it's correct. Because you're getting an error does not mean it's wrong either. So you should be able to distinguish between these situations. You can get an answer. You can even get the correct answer. Getting the correct answer does not mean it's the right way. As a data analyst, you need to do things the right way. You need to do things the right way, irrespective of what you do. Are we together?
Yes, sir. Thank you very
So
much, sir.
yeah, so that is how it works. Then another thing, when you're working with lookup functions, please make sure your lookup values are your primary key. What is the primary key? A primary key is a unique identifier. So always make sure your lookup values should be from a primary key column. Example, employee ID. You can see the employee ID. There's no. Oh my God, I just had a brain fart. There's no duplicates. That's the word I'm looking for. There's no duplicates of anything here. Everything here is unique, right? You can also use something like the full name, but most cases you use the primary key. Your employee IDs, your customer IDs, your product IDs, any column that doesn't have duplicates. Because now, if you decide to use, say, the job title, so more than one person can have the same job title. So when you pair the job titles together, there's going to be a clash if there's more than one. So what do you do in that situation? You have a problem. Same thing with the names, the age, and all of those things. Do you understand? So using the primary ID, because two persons or two items can't have the same ID identification. That's why it's the same thing also on your phone. Those using Androids, your fingerprints, everybody's fingerprint is unique, right? There's a reason why they use the fingerprint because of security to avoid clash. Same thing goes with the facial recognition. It is always good to use something that is unique, something that is not duplicated when you're working with lookups. Else you encounter a plethora of problems. Do you understand? So take that and have that at the back of your mind, please. So now, I need to be sure you guys are correct. So let's try one more example. Let's try one more example here. Let me see if you guys understand. I'm about to catch you guys now. So So yes. So I want to find out the salaries of all of these staffs. Of all of these staffs. So how do I write this out, class? Or more, I'm hoping these hands that are up are the people that want to answer the question. If you're not, if your hand isn't up to answer the question, you can bring it down. Then if you have a question, when I ask for a question, you can raise it back up. So let's start with you, Esther. Omolayo, Esther. So what do I do in this case? Tell me what to do.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Equal to lookup.
Equal to what? Equal to what?
Equal to X lookup. Then our lookup value is A15. A15.
Okay. Now let me show you guys a second way of writing functions in Excel, an easier way, right? So I'll come here. I'll click on FX up top here. I'll click on FX. I'm going to search the function I want, which is XLOOKUP. I'll click OK. So now what's going to be my lookup value? A15, right?
A15. Yes, sir.
Okay. So what's going to be my lookup array?
E to be the E column.
Okay. What's going to be my return array now?
Return array, the salary. So I can't see the salaries.
Which is
M, the M column.
and immediately I press OK. Can you see? I've returned the salaries. You understand? This is another way of writing codes, an easier way of writing codes in Excel. And if I click inside of here, look at the function inside. I don't know if you guys got that. I don't know if you guys got that.
We got
The way
that,
I wrote
sir.
it. All right, it's an easier way of writing
Yes, we
functions
did.
in Excel. Yeah. So you can see here we're able to pull out the salaries. This is very useful. In fact, when you're going for job interviews as a data analyst, the first wave of disqualification is they'll just use lookups to catch you. They will paint a business scenario. They'll say, okay, fine, use lookup to pull out two and so things, and you'll just go and fumble and they'll just screen you out. So please make sure you master this. So now, if you look at it carefully, you realize that this is only the part of the functions we've been using. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. So now we have an error there. On the first one we wrote, we have an error there. What is the error? Why do we have an error there?
Ew.
On this Oizam Zimarian, we're having an error there. Why is that?
It was actually because Oriza Imarian name was not included in the first name column.
All right, thank you very much. So now, the reason why Oizamzi is giving us an error, why? Because Excel checked in the lookup array and found out that Oizamzi isn't here, right? So it's going to return an error. So how do we treat this error? This is where this part of the function comes in, right? This is where this part of the function comes in. So this part of the function, what it does is basically you can impute a message to return to the user. Instead of returning this error, we can impute a message there, right? So for example, we can say, okay, for instead of this error message, we can say name not found, right? Or not in data, or impute a different name. You understand? Instead of just having it show this NA here. So how do I do that? How do I do that? I'll come here. So after this function we wrote, if you want to trigger the next set of operations, you just click on comma. You will see here it has triggered the if not found. So what do we put in if not found? I'll say, okay, fine. I'll use my double quotation. I'll say name not in array. Name not in array. Right? I'll just say name not in array. I'll press enter. Again, it works okay. Right? So immediately I drag this function down. Can you see? So now we are adding context to the error we are having there. So now we are now telling the user that, okay, fine, this thing you're trying to look for, that name is not in that database. Please cross-check the name or input a valid name. Do you guys understand? Are you guys following?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So instead of just leaving it there, keeping the user confused, you can add context. Again, let me do that here. I'll click comma. I will say name, it can be anything, right? Name not in array. I want to even make it, I want to make this spicy. What do? I'll just come here. I will say this. Let's see if this will work. This I will concatenate. I'll concatenate. That will be this, right? Is it a single arm? I'll say this. Then I will go this. I will say is not available. Right? Let's see if this will work. Let me press enter. Let me drag this down. Okay, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Let me try concatenate. I'm really sorry. I'm just trying to see if I can. Let me use concat. So this comma. Let me see. Let me close this. Let's see. Okay. Probably you can use a function inside here. It's just to use to pass a message, basically. I wanted it to be dynamic in the sense that no matter the data, the name there, it can change, right? So I'll just say this and this. You can see it's not available. It's not an array. Instead of having that error message. If you have any question, you can ask before we go to the next step of XLOOKUP. Aria.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, everyone. So please, my question is, I started a bit later, so I want to know what's the difference between XLOOKUP and lookup?
So lookup functions, XLOOKUP is a lookup function. VLOOKUP is a lookup function. HLOOKUP is a lookup function. Get pivot data is a lookup function. Index and match are all lookup functions. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to be sure to their differences. Thank you.
Yeah. They do the same thing, but they attack it in different ways. But at the end of the day, they are used to pull out data.
Okay. No problem. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Any other question? All right. So we've covered up until this. We've covered up until this. So now, what if you want to pull out more than one information? What if you want to pull out more than one information? So what do you do in this case? So in this case, we want to pull out the start date, so when the employee started and when the employee left the company, right? You want to pull out that information. What do you do? Can anyone try? Okay. That's stuff. So tell me what to do, please.
Okay, sir. I would just want to try. Equal to X lookup
Yeah.
A3.
Come in. Mm-hmm.
Then the start date column and C.
No. Look at the function, the structure of the function.
Oh,
Lookup
okay.
value, lookup array, return
Okay,
array.
lookup.
So if,
That's the full name. That's I column.
okay. So what do I do now? Remember,
Then
I want to return the
then
start
this
and the end dates. So what do I do?
we'll look for the start date.
I can't
Yeah,
hear you.
look
The
for the
line is
start
breaking.
date column and the end date column. Okay, that's N and O. Okay,
So how do I do
that's
it?
the N. You put the N column and comma the O column.
Immediately you put comma, it jumps to the next portion of the code, right? Which is the if not
Oh,
found.
then
So that will not work.
can semicolon work?
Semicolon won't work either. Okay.
Okay.
Let me,
Okay.
yeah. Let me give you. I'll give you 7/10. Victoria, let Victoria try. So this is the last part of the function. Can you help us out?
Okay, what you do is that you will select from N2 to O10 so that you select both the start and the end date column.
Yeah. So I'll just press enter, and you can see. Immediately I drag it down, it's returning the start and the end dates here. The start and the end dates. So now there's a caveat to this, right? There's a caveat to this. What is the caveat? The name, the two columns or the two information you want to return must be side by side, right? They must be side by side. If you want to return the first name and maybe the job title, or the age and the job title, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So it must be side by side for it to work. You guys understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's yes, praise. Praise. You have a question?
So, good evening, everyone. I want
Yeah,
to
good
know
evening.
why did the null value return for B7?
No, there's no any whenever you see this, no any. Whenever you see this, just
Yes.
know that there's something wrong with this reference. There is no Keb Malo here.
Okay.
I
Okay.
so yeah. I'm trying to figure out why this is giving me 0. Trying to figure out why this is giving me 0. Is it because I didn't lock this part of the code? Let me see. Most likely. Let me lock this. Let me drag it down now. Now, the person I was asking now, can you see the difference when I locked and when I didn't lock it?
Yes, sir.
Can you see? So it's standard practice to always know when to lock. So this no any this is basically telling you not available is when a value is not available in a range, right? So that's what I have. We'll discuss the different types of errors and how to tackle them, right? So now let me quickly grab this. Let me quickly grab this. Control C. I hope I'll be fast enough to cover this remaining two parts of XLOOKUP today. I hope. Praise, did your hand just come up?
No, sir.
All right. Blessing. Blessing. Udo. Okay. Favor.
Okay,
She's
good
around.
evening. Yeah, good
Yeah.
evening. I want to ask, from what we did last now, we put the start date and the date the person left the company, and they
Yeah.
were together, and you said they must be together before it works. Now, I want to know, what
Yes.
if we were provided a data set where they are not put together? Does it mean we are going to use a different formula, or we are going to rearrange it ourselves before we work with it?
That is where index and match comes in, right? Index and match is much more flexible compared to um compared to XLOOKUP. Also, you could do the XLOOKUP twice, get the start date first, and get the end date. You understand? So there are always multiple ways of killing a bird. A way to get a way to get up. What's that? What's that noise? Please. Can we proceed? Can we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So now we're going to talk about this part of the function. We're going to talk about this part of the function, right? Please, I need you guys to mute your mic, please. All right. So let's continue. Let's talk about the match mode. So now I have just roughly 25 minutes. I think that will be enough to cover this match mode. Then we'll meet tomorrow. We'll finish up the search mode. Then we'll go into index match. Or if I'm fast enough, I can cover everything in 25 to 30 minutes. So now, right? I want to get the job title here. Can somebody help me out on what to do? Priscilla.
Okay, so equals to X lookup.
Okay. All right.
Then your lookup value, that is the full name.
Uh-huh.
A3, yes. Then go to the lookup array, full name in full, yes, select everything. Then
Always remember to log down.
yes, lock it. Then you head over to the job title. That is the return array. Then select everything. Yes.
Now, let me drag it down. Why are we having an error here?
Because those. Eh? Okay, because the names you look for the value in this full name was not included in the name column.
Okay. Okay. That's correct. So now, for the XLOOKUP function to work very well, right? You need to make sure the the lookup value is exactly the same in the lookup array. It's exactly the same with the lookup array, right? Even if it's just one comma or one letter gone, once there is no exact match, it's going to return an error. So how do we fix this? How do we fix this? This is where the match mode comes into play, right? This is where the match mode comes into play. So how do we fix this? Let's talk about the match mode. So I'll come here. I'm going to tweak this code a bit. So I'll press comma here. It's going to trigger the if not found. I don't want to work with the if not found. So what do? I'll put in a second comma. It is now triggering the match mode. So now there are 4 types of match modes here. Let me see if it's in these notes. There are 4 types of match modes here. It should do the real life implications of lookups are endless. They are endless. Yes, here they are. The real life implication of lookups are endless. Don't worry. When we round up, I will give you some scenarios where lookups can come into play. But let's learn the technique first. Probably tomorrow. So we have 4 types of match modes, right? So we have this 0, which signifies the default, now that you're coming to lookups, you guys are approaching intermediate level of Excel usage. So we have the 0, which is the exact match. We have 1, which is the exact match on next larger item. We have -1, which is the exact match on next smaller item. And we have 2, which is a wild card match. Now, you can see here 0, exact match is the default. You don't even have to put the 0 there, but by default, it's going to search for the exact match. That's why we're having errors there. So we have 1 and we have -1, right? Let's skip these 2. Why? Because these 2 come into play when your lookup value is a number, the date is in a numerical data set. Because you're looking at larger items and smaller items. You cannot quantify strings. You cannot quantify alphabets or characters. Are we together, class? You cannot say this
Yes, sir.
word is larger than this word. This word is smaller than this word. So anytime you see larger, smaller, these 2 here are used for number-based lookup values, right? So now that we're working with characters as our lookup value, this is where the wildcard comes into play, right? This is where the wildcard comes into play. So let me come here, right? Look at them. You see, look at the 4 of them, the 4 options here. So you can either click on this, or you can write 2. Same thing. So if I click on this, it automatically imputes 2, right? I'll press enter. I will drag it down. We are still having an error. Why are we having an error? We have not input our wildcard, right? We're just telling it to match the wildcard, but we have not imputed our wildcard. So this is what the wildcard looks like. So since the issue is coming from the lookup value, so what do? I'll come to the lookup value, right? I will come here. I will do and. I will do this. I will do this. I'll do this. And I'll press enter. And I'll drag it down. Can you see it has worked? Like magic, Abby. Are we together? Did anybody understand
Yes,
what I
sir.
did here?
But we
Before
are
I
not
explain.
together.
The- So basically what I did here, right? I'm going to explain it. I came to the lookup value. I did and. I did open quotation, open double quotation. I put asterisk in there. I closed it and I pressed enter. That's all I need to do. And I'm going to explain it for you. So now, this is our wildcard, right? This is our wildcard here. What does this single ampersand, what does it do? What does it mean? Plus. This single ampersand. You see that? Priscilla, Nola.
I think it means
To concatenate.
Thank you very much. To concatenate. Now, let me explain what I did here, right? Basically, what I told Excel is, I said, okay, fine. Take this lookup value, in this case, Toby Flenderson. Now, search for Toby Flender here, right? It's going to find Toby Flenderson, right? So I'll say, okay, fine. When you see this, anywhere, wherever you see this Toby Flender here, and the only place I could find it is this Toby Flenderson. Now, add, concatenate Toby Flender, which is A3, concatenate it with everything in front of Toby Flender. Do you understand? That's the wild card. So this double quotation asterisk, double quotation means everything. So what I just told Excel to do is look for Toby Flenderson in the lookup array. Where you find it, concatenate it, join it up with everything in front of it, then run it again. You guys understand?
Yes, sir.
If you have questions,
Yes,
ask. So
sir.
it's okay. Patience. Patience.
Sir, please explain more. I didn't really get it, sir. Please. Thank you.
The and symbol is used. Semi, do you have a question? Let me see if I can treat both together.
Yes, sir. So I have a question. So you said everything in front of it. Is it the first scene or another one? Hello, sir. Do you hear me, sir?
I don't understand the question you just asked. What was the question
Now
you
you
asked?
said that this double quotation means everything in front of Toby. So is it that the name beside Toby, like Toby's surname, or is it another one entirely?
No, now I explained that this is the A3 is the lookup value. What is our lookup value? What is our lookup value? Our lookup value is Toby Flender. So what do I say? Okay, fine. Search for Toby Flender here. Where do we find Toby Flender? We find Toby Flender here, right? But there are some characters in front of Toby Flender. There are some characters in top or in front of Toby Flender. So what do we want to do? We want to concatenate Toby Flender with everything in front of Toby Flender, which in this case is SON. So it will now merge it together. So instead of Toby Flender, it will now return Toby Flenderson because SON was the wild card in front of Toby Flender. And we use this ampersand to concatenate the lookup value and the lookup array. The lookup value and the wild card, which is the unknown, which we found. I don't know if you understand. Tyre.
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask, on the if not found, is it possible for us to impute that function and then on the if not found put, let's say, the string if not found, something like that, and then also input the match mode, or does it require us to only put one selected bracket out of that green highlighted thing?
You can write all of the 6 parts, including if not found, right? But since we are trying to treat, I just skipped it because there's no point in putting it there because we're trying to fix an error. But you can put if not found if you want. I just use double comma to skip the if not found function. But you can use it. You can use all 6 parts of the functions, the 3 optional and the 3 mandatory. You can use all 6 of them at the same time.
All right, thank
Again,
you.
it's depending on your use, on the use case. So Deborah, do you have a question? Yeah. What about cases where names are misspelled? That's why before you start cleaning your data, before you start working on your data, clean your data first. In this case, this is a case of misspelled. The person is supposed to write to be Flanders, but the person wrote to be Flanders there, right? The person wrote to be Flanders there. But what if it's worse than this? Then that's where the problem comes in. That's where a problem comes in. So make sure your data is clean before you start analyzing your data. Go through everything.
So please, I wanted to ask, why are there two comma before the wildcard number 2?
I told you I didn't want to use the if not I didn't want to use the if not found. So just press the second comma to skip to the next function. I did not want to use it. Initially, there's supposed to be an if not found function in between both commas, but I just don't want to use it. I just don't want to use it. That's why I just pressed another comma to trigger the match mode.
Okay, sir. So does it mean if not found and exact match are the same?
They are not the same. What is the function of the if not match? What does it do? If not found. From what I explained, what does the if not found what does it do?
You can use it to return a text saying that, explaining that is not found, something like that.
So what does the match mode? What does it do?
It returns the exact name you are searching for.
So the if not found is just to tell the person that okay, fine, this thing you're looking for is not here, it's not here. Check, please cross check the name and give us another name to try. The match mode is something we can tinker with in cases where there's incomplete information to still try and create a connection between our lookup value and our lookup array so we can pull out the information we need, regardless of not having the complete details we need. In this case, instead of to be Flender saying we have to be Flender here. That's the job of the match mode. Here's it specifies the type of match. What kind of match are we trying to do? I told you by default it's the exact match. So the lookup value must be the lookup array exactly the same, right? So Tara,
Yes, sir. Sir, please.
yeah,
My question is for the bestly, right? Yes. It returns a not available error. So I want to ask, how do you do the match mode for wildcards that are before the name you have and or before
yeah,
the lookup value,
we are
not
getting there.
after?
We are
Okay.
getting there. We are getting there. Please, Miss
And sorry,
Precious, I
can
don't know
you
if
do
it's
both together?
possible. No, I don't know if it's
You
possible.
can't.
You can't. I don't know if it's possible to drop the attendance because I'll be leaving a little bit early. Please, I already explained to them earlier. So please, if the attendance can be dropped so that they can start filling because the next 10 to 15 minutes,
Low battery. Please charge.
I will be out of here. So is she here, Miss Precious? Yeah.
Low battery. Please charge.
Miss Precious, I still can't see the attendance, so that's why I'm still here.
She has dropped it, sir.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. So, Francisca, I can see your hand is up.
Okay, good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I wanted to ask, you mentioned that the lookup function is sensitive to match, like if it's not the same, if the names are not arranged the same way, it might not find this. I want to know if it's also case sensitive. Maybe the names are the same, but this one starts with capital letter, then the other is small letter. Will it overlook it, or is also case sensitive? Yes.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I couldn't hear what she was saying. The network cut off for a couple of seconds. So I don't know if she can repeat herself. The last person that was talking.
Okay. So I was asking if the match was case sensitive. In case the names are the same, but difference in maybe one is capital letter and the other is small letter, will it be able to find it, or is going to overlook it?
Let's try it. Let's see. All right. So let me change it to be flattened out to small letters. So let's see. Can you see? Can you see the person that just asked the question? Can you see that it's not case sensitive?
Yes.
So it's not case sensitive. So now, if you look at Toby Flender, Meredith, and Kevin Malo, there's a reason why these three worked and this didn't work. If you look at Toby Flender, there's something in front of Toby Flender. If you look at Meredith, there's something in front of Meredith. And if you look at Kevin Malo, there's something in front of Kevin Malo. So the reason why Beasley is returning an error is because you can see here, Beasley is now the last name. There's nothing in front of Beasley. So in situations like this,
Dan, your mic is muted. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you, sir.
my network, can you guys still see my screen? It's showing I've lost connection. It's trying to reconnect.
We can still see it.
The network is
Can
bad.
see your
It's been bad.
Yes, sir.
Last second. One
Yes,
minute,
sir.
please. I can't see my screen. It's reconnecting. So 1 minute.
We can't.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
I don't know what is happening today. This is the first time that network has been this bad since we started that I can't hold a class in peace. I don't know what's just happening
Yes, sir.
today. Really? How about, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
I can
Yes,
see.
sir.
All right. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. Well, yeah, we'll be rounding up in 5 minutes. Let me just copy. Let me just round up. So now, because of time and because of this network, please, all of your questions, you can hold them till tomorrow because we will continue here from here tomorrow. The network is very bad. The network is very bad. Please. So now, so the reason why we're having an error here is because there's nothing in front of Beasley. You can see Toby Flender. There's sin there for Toby Flenderson. I have Beasley. Mary, the only difference is that this name here, there is nothing in front of it. So if you tell Excel to check for Beasley and add everything in front of Beasley, when it checks, there's nothing in front of it. So it's going to add nothing. It's going to return Beasley back. And when it runs it the second time, there's still no Beasley here to check. So what do we do in this situation? It's very simple. There's just one change. So what do we do? Instead of to say, okay, fine, lookup value, add everything in front of it to the lookup value, what do we do? I'll delete this. I'll come here. I'll come to the back of the lookup value. I will say add everything. Add everything at the back of the lookup value. So when I press enter, you will see. Can you see? So we're able to pull out the name. we're able to pull out the name. Questions? Please, can you guys see my screen? Can you guys see my screen? Because it seems this network is a
Yes,
general
sir.
something. Everybody's complaining.
Yes, now we can see your screen.
All right. So if you have questions, let me just quickly take a few questions regarding what I just did now. So let's start with Esther.
Okay, sir. Sir, please, I want to ask a question. My question is, earlier during that to be Flender, you added the oh, what's it called? You added the open open this thing after the lookup value. Now you are adding it behind the lookup value. Now, assuming we have a very large file or a large document that we need to like use the X lookup for. So now, and I'm to find the job title for this Beasley. Now, my question is, how am I supposed to know if it's going to be behind or after? Because like I'm confused there. I don't know if you get my question, sir.
Because if the wildcard does not work in front, it's going to work behind. It's just one of two things. There's either going to be a name in front of it, or there's going to be something behind it. So if you try the first wildcard, which is adding everything in front, and even if it's 10,000 names that returning this error, what do? That's where the sort and filter comes in. Remember sort and filter. So what do I will trigger. Oh my God! Can you guys hear me? Can you guys
Yes,
hear
sir.
me? The
Yes, ma'am.
network is
Yes,
just
yes, yes.
fluctuating seriously.
Yes,
Can
sir,
you
we
guys
can
hear me?
hear you. Yes, sir.
Can you guys? Is my cursor moving?
We can hear you, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
your cursor is
So now,
moving.
even if it's 10,000,
Yes, it's moving.
yes, even if it's 10,000, even if it's 2,000 errors that we're having, what do? You just come to the sort and filter here. You come here, you uncheck everything and leave only the error. I hope you guys can remember how sort and filter works, right? So what do? You just check, click on it, and you click OK. So it will now show all of the names that are having issues, right? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can, sir.
Yes, sir.
We
Yes,
can hear
sir.
you, sir.
What is this? Oh, for fuck's sake.
No, sir.
Yeah, we hear those also. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Please, because of network, let's just call